Distressed looks are so popular these days, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can get a great distressed but beautiful look using products from the Vintage Grunge CreateAlong box. Hey there, Sandy here. Welcome to another polymer clay video with CreateAlong. So when I got the Vintage Grunge CreateAlong box, it got my imagination going. And I started to have a picture in my mind of what I wanted, and I wasn't quite sure if it would work, but it turns out it did. And it's this way of creating a very soft gold frame around a beaded piece. It can be a pendant or a bead. You can make it big or small. And I figured out a really cool, streamlined way of doing it. Actually, it was Susan at Turtle Soup Beads who kind of got me going on this idea, because she is always wrapping her canes and her clay in gold leaf. So when I saw these gold leaf shavings in the box, I started thinking about what we could do. So to make your beads, you want to start with just a log of clay. It can just be a solid color. I have two examples here, and both of them are just colors I pulled from my scrap bin, and in neither one did I mix the colors perfectly. You can if you want, but there may be some streaks in there. This one has some glitter in it. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever you want. And I'm just going to roll a log. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, if you're thinking about making really small pendants or charms, like for beads or earrings, smaller than this, then you may want to start with a smaller log, in a smaller diameter log. But I actually think I want to put, you can see I already used some of these. I'm going to make a pair of earrings, and I want to put this key on one and this lock on the other. So I want to make pieces that are going to be big enough to do that. The first step is to make a mess. No, I'm not kidding. This stuff makes a mess. It just goes everywhere. Resign yourself to the fact that after you open this package, you are going to find gold flecks all over the place. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Not unless, your style is completely different. You just kind of pull out a pinch of these, and you can rub them all over your log. Kind of roll it in it. Get the whole thing pretty much coated. It doesn't have to be 100%, but it is going to spread, so you don't want to make it too thin unless you want it really thin in the end. And then you just kind of start rubbing, and if there's empty spots, you can just pull off a piece. Believe me, a couple pinches will be plenty. Patch in any bare spots, but do try to get off the excess. I mean, that's just beautiful already, I think. Okay. And then I dare you to try to get them all back into the bag. Yeah, or breathe. Look at that. I'm breathing and they're moving. Yeah, gold flecks everywhere. We like being gilded, right? Okay. Well, I was going to get a bigger baggie. Might be easier. That's all right. You don't need to get the ends. I'll use this, kind of burnish it in a little, but really mostly I just want to rub off the excess. And once it's baked, those gold bits are on there. All right, I'm just going to use this as kind of an eraser and pick it all up. I'll make a crackled gold bead. See how much we can pick up that way. All right, it's official. It's everywhere. Okay, now on to the technique. Now, if I wanted pieces that were perfectly clear on both sides, I would slice off this end, but actually I kind of don't mind if the back of my earring has gold leaf on it. So again, I'm going to use it to kind of pick up some of this excess. Oh, there's a good piece. And like I said, I want a good I want to end up with a good size piece, so I'm going to cut these pretty thick. Yeah, about like that. And since I'm doing the two ends, I'll just do this. Cut the other one about the same size. Okay. And that can be used for other beads. Now you want to soften those cut edges. Just use your fingers and gently press them in. And if you've cut a slice out of the middle, you'll soften the cut edges on both sides, just like this. Till you start having a ball of clay. And once it's balled up enough, you can just start rolling it in your hands until you have a ball. Now for this one, I want kind of an oval shape, again, to accommodate this key and lock motif. So I'm going to kind of flatten it into an oval, keeping in mind that I want the part that doesn't have so much gold leaf on it to be the face, and maybe the back too, but not in this case. Yeah, this is why you want to rub off as much excess as you can, because it'll end up going places you don't want it. Move that out of the way. And then next you just take an acrylic block and start to flatten it. And there you go. You have your shape, and I should cut these out. It's going to work pretty well. I think I just want it to be a little longer and skinnier. You can adjust it a bit afterwards. And I like that it has an organic shape. It isn't perfectly even. I think that's part of the charm. And we'll do the other one. And this one I'll start off making a little bit longer and thinner, because I know that's what I'm going to want to end up with. And I just love the way you get this really soft frame of gold. Instead of a harsh line, it's just really soft. Now let me show you what you get if you don't roll it into a ball first. You might like this look better. You get something a little bit different. So I'm going to cut, again, a similar size piece. And just squish it down. And you can see the difference between these two. You can see it here as well. This is one that I cut and then rolled into a ball, and then this one is one that I just squished down. If you want, you can do what I did here and use the keys deco disc. In fact, you can press it down. Well, let's try it on this one and I'll show you what I mean. Press it, you can flatten it down part of the way with just the acrylic block. And then to get a nice deep impression, put the deco disc on and press it down some more. And then you get a really nice impression there. When you're done with that, you can rub that. Oh, I opened that upside down. Oh, I am so making a mess today. Goodness. Okay. And this is just some mica powder from CreateAlong. That kind of highlights the keys. Isn't that pretty? On these ones I just rubbed some gold mica powder on them. And if you want, you can use the magic transfers, which I think are just really cool. So let's see. You just put that on, cut out enough, cut it out closely enough so you can really get it centered on your project. I like to burnish it in just a little bit. Now if I was just doing this for me and not for the camera, I would do this over the sink. I would do this in the sink. And you just pour running water over it. It's pretty amazing. They don't call it magic transfer paper for nothing. Just pour some water. And if you have it in your sink, can you see that? Oops, uh-oh. I didn't burnish that in well enough. Don't know if I'm going to be able to rescue that. I think that's going to fall apart. Alright, I'll have to just rub that one off entirely. Oh well. Fail. Alright, let's try that again, because this stuff really is cool. So I'm just going to rub that in. Make sure it's on there good. You don't have to rub hard, just make sure the whole thing is contacting the clay. Alright, let's try that again. So first the paper gets wet, and then can you see it just washing away? It really is like magic. Let it dry completely, and then you can go in and gently rub off a little bit more of the paper if you want to, because I don't know if you can see, there are still some paper fibers on there. Ha, I got that little piece to go back down. So there you have it. Several ideas for using products from the Vintage Grunge CreateAlong box that will give you just this great organic, sparkly, interesting look. I hope you enjoyed. Again, this is Sandy Huntress for CreateAlong. Happy creating.